I've got a lot to say, but I will try to be quick with this. Theresa May is on the ropes. I think she was 6 votes short of being kicked out, which I have mixed feelings about. I think she's an awful Prime Minister. I hear people praise her all the time, especially in her own party, and it's preposterous. She's doing very well for the wealthy, which is all she's been focused on the last 2 years. But when it comes to the actual people, and more specifically on Brexit, she has failed at every single turn. Now, a little bit of a caveat with Brexit. It's not just that we will now have a seat at the table but with no voice. Regardless of what you think of that, it is what it is. But one of those little things that she's worked into this Brexit deal is that animals have no feelings. Now, we saw that come up last year, I believe, and it doesn't mean that a pigeon shouldn't be going to therapy. Of course not. This is her way of circumventing the fox hunting ban, because if an animal has no feelings by law, then there is nothing wrong with hunting it, with beating it, and with letting other animals rip it apart in the name of sport. Now, I think everyone who sees this will understand that if you lay a dog down, you get a hammer and go to town, not only are you a disgusting fucking monster, but that dog is going to be in a lot of pain before it dies. It's the same standard with a fox. That's what they are doing. They are torturing an animal and then killing it a few hours later just to get their jollies off. It's something that they brought into the Chequers deal, something that the European Union, maybe they'll agree to, maybe not. Again, so far they've not agreed to the Chequers deal because it's just, we haven't got that far yet, but it's the only thing that this government actually has. May was so worried about getting kicked out, about this vote of no confidence, that she was rumoured to have wanted to start the 6 weeks summer vacation early. That's annoyed me, because if I haven't done everything I need to do before the end of my shift, well, then I have to stay on and make sure everything gets done. If I haven't finished all my paperwork, I have to stay on and do the paperwork. If I'm in the middle of something, I have to finish what I'm doing before I can go. And yet she's quite happy to scarper, despite the fact that she is crucial to an incredibly important part of the UK's future, an immediate future. It's not like she started her prime ministerial run without knowing that this was going to happen. David Cameron didn't know which way the Brexit vote was going. In hindsight, I kind of think that he wanted it to fail, because leaving the European Union means that we dodge European Union laws that are going to be coming into effect fairly soon, which target very, very aggressively on million and billionaire tax dodgers, which he is and all his friends are. So it kind of makes you think the reason why he ran such an incompetent campaign so he could keep dodging taxes in the UK, despite the fact that he now lives on the continent, taking a lovely pension, not only from the UK, but from Europe as well. But Theresa May took the job knowing full well she would have to focus on Brexit. That is what history will remember her for, what she did during this crucial period of Britain's history. And she's been doing nothing. It was only a few weeks ago she actually bothered to get an update on Brexit from the then Brexit, the then leader of the campaign for Brexit. So she's shown time and time again that she is either disinterested or extremely incompetent at her role. She has not only shown no interest in doing the job she knew she would have to focus on, but she has put key players in incredibly important positions to make certain sectors fail. Education has been stripped and gutted. Jeremy Hunt is not an incompetent buffoon. He was methodical with how he was dismantling and destroying the NHS, to the point where nurses have been reported leaving the NHS to work in bloody Audi because the pay's better. And he's been replaced with Hancock now, who has the exact same financial incentives to continue what Hunter's done. So the NHS still isn't safe, and that's because of Theresa May putting these horrible people in these horrible positions. Boris Johnson as Foreign Secretary, you say it and then you realise why we haven't been building on relationships with other countries. Someone who is so incredibly pro-Trump, of course Mexico's not going to want to talk. Going through it all, watching different questions, different reactions, different responses, her responses and the rest of her cabinet. Something that Desmond Swayne, I hope I said that right, the Conservative MP for New Forest West, said. He said something that really resonated with me. Now this was in regards to the Brexit campaign. The Brexit Leave had been found to be they broke the rules, they overspent, they broke the law essentially. That in itself doesn't really bother me because it comes down to misinformation and everything else, but I'll touch on that in a sec. He said essentially it falls on the voter. It's down to you and me, and it's who we send into Parliament, it's who we send to represent us, and that is absolutely true. By whatever margin, we didn't vote for Theresa May when she first took office, but she called a general election and we voted for her in that general election. So we voted for education to be slashed. And it's not like she was amazing beforehand. We saw exactly what she was doing and then we voted. We voted for her to gut the police force, the police service. We voted for her to gut the fire brigade, for her to continue the assault on the NHS, for her to continue the growth of austerity, to continue the attack on people who genuinely need help from Department of Work and Pensions, from people who need help from the job centre. It does fall down to us. It does fall down to us seeing what these disgusting people are doing to our country and calling them out on it. Yes, you can argue that fake news plays a massive role, and sowing the seeds like Ben Bradley's attack on Jeremy Hunt, calling him a spy for Colombia or Cuba? Cuba, if I remember rightly. By the way, Jeremy Corbyn sued Ben Bradley for that. He won the lawsuit. Bradley had to apologise. He did it late at night when he thought no one was paying attention. And while he was ordered to pay this massive compensation, his donors have actually paid for it, showing just how corrupt the Conservative Party is. His donors paid his legal bills. Yeah, who does he really serve? The people or the donors? Corrupt politicians do not just exist in America. They are over here as well, and it's growing ever more clearly. Sowing the seeds of mistrust. I will still talk to people who say that they will not vote for Corbyn because they just don't trust him. Follow-up question every single time: why not? What is it about Corbyn that you don't trust? And every single time, I don't know. Or his policies just won't work. If an economic specialist tells me that a certain policy will work, I'm likely to believe the economic specialist. If there's 2, if there's 3, if there's 4, or if in Corbyn's case, damn near every single one who's had a look at his policies say, no, this will actually work, then I will believe that they will work. Now, if you ask me why I don't trust Theresa May, I can answer that very quickly. It's because she's atrocious at her job. It's because she doesn't serve the people, she only serves the wealthy. It's because she's given tax incentives to the wealthy. It's because she's stolen from the people who actually need money. It's because she's forced children into poverty. It's because she's put key players in key positions to destroy public sectors, things that you and I pay for. It's because she allowed the notion that an OAP should actually volunteer and earn their fucking pension when they've been earning it their entire lives. The fact that she should have been focused on Brexit from day one because she knew she should have been and has done nothing up to a couple of weeks ago. The fact that she is more interested in bending over and begging Donald Trump for praise than actually doing her job. When Donald Trump, as I've said before and said time and time again, is a man who cannot be trusted. Not only has he insulted every single ally he has, but while he was up on stage with Putin, he even insulted America. His country insulted his intelligence agencies that said, look, we now know for a fact Russia have at the very least tried to hack into the ballot boxes during the 2016 elections. And yet, he said it was all America's fault. Now, yeah, he's backtracked on that again. Mostly because I think someone explained to him, look, you've really pissed off Republicans and these are the only people protecting you. But that's why I can say I don't trust Theresa May. But when it comes down to Corbyn, and I ask people, why don't you trust Corbyn? I'm met with, I just don't trust him. I don't think his policies will work. The facts speak for themselves. His policies will work. But the fake news, the seeds of discontent, the seeds of doubt, they all play a massive role. And while I'd like to see Theresa May gone, we have 9 months to sort out this shambles of a government. Quite frankly, I'm not sure anyone could actually do such a thing, but we will have to see. And certainly the next time there is any kind of vote, we have to be diligent. We have to actually do the legwork and see who these people actually are. We cannot allow someone like Theresa May to continue to destroy the country, which is exactly what she's been doing. If someone tells you that they don't like human rights, don't vote for them. Because this is exactly what you will get. A government who is only interested in serving the rich.